morning, everybody, and welcome to the Auditing Insanity Newscast. I'm Jim Finch, and I'm going to be your host today for another fun show filled with news and surprises. It was another gorgeous day here in north central Pennsylvania. I observed it from my hermetically sealed house, as I'm not allowed to go out due to extreme allergies that will surely swell me up like a balloon and kill me should I even think of stepping foot outside the house. My trusty sidekick in stunt double Pants has decided that he'll do all stepping out and around town for me. He needs to be paid in alcohol and good food, and no pictures, please. He is fragile and demands his own photographer to take any compromising pictures you may need. On that scary note, let's hop into today's news. GoFundMe Decastro Rancor Fund falls hard to us? Jose Chile Decastro's tales of being the world's best fundraising expert fell by the wayside yet again on Saturday as our own ongoing expenses fund defeated his Push to the Moon campaign for Press with Rancor by a mere $2. For years, we've been hearing that Decastro has the ability to pull in millions and millions of dollars, as he was an ad executive in New York for over a decade. Side note, it's one of his 5 decades alive and fits in somewhere with living in Las Vegas for 20 years and California for 20 years at the same time. And he says he's run companies with multi-million-dollar budgets and blah 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 go Chile. Earlier in the year, we wouldn't question it. He was riding high at one point. He found people who he could get $6,000 a month out of to pay Press with Rancor's legal bills, and not much more. When he wants to, or times of major events in his life, like going to jail and getting out of jail, he still can manage to pull in $3,000 at a time, or $4,558 in his latest post-release campaign, out of the $100,000 he requested. He still has it in him to perform on a mid to lower level and exploit his audience and exploit them hard for money. But he has to be consistent. He has to put in the work and continue to drive people to his fundraising efforts. He can't just do one fundraiser if he wants to make a dent in the $30,000 he still owes for Press with Rancor's defense. He has to beat the drum every night until people give and give hard to get him out of the hole he put himself in. That's become the problem. He had a decent take for someone running a smaller channel, $1,500 or so in the night for his fundraiser with Rancor. That's before his matching funds go in, since he promised to hit up his own checkbook to come up with the matching funds as incentive to get people to donate. He's on the hook for the rest of the $4,500 he owes Rancor's lawyer anyway. His Saturday night live stream seemed to start in the middle of his program. No intro video, no advertising. Decastro started in midstream with a talk about more anti-police videos. There was no mention of Rancor at the start or at the end of the video, and he just acted like he didn't have a care in the world, with no efforts to promote his own fundraising for anything else. You could, however, get his world-famous trifold for a not-so-new low price. Not only that, if you bought his trifold this weekend, he's gonna throw in 2 of his world-famous 5A cop cards to go with it absolutely free. But wait, there's more. If you give him your personal details to sell to a third-party company, he'll send you a zip file with all the contents of his store in digital format, so you have no reason at all to invest more in his products. His YouTube revenue, or the money he allegedly makes selling your personal information to data harvesters, must be great because he's literally giving away his products for free and giving no one any incentive to give him money. At least Colin Project Constitution Campbell has sense enough to charge for all the questionable material on his website. Decastro's boat is sinking and sinking quickly. Instead of plugging the holes with his fingers, he's taking the gun he always has within reach and shooting the boat to make more holes while claiming to be the old man in the sea, the greatest mariner alive, and telling everyone to take off their life preservers because they're a scam run by the evil and corrupt life preserver industry. Getting back to the point of the column, we won the day. Press with Rancor's fund took in $33. We took in $35. We had our wonderful returning hate watcher, we had a regular come through with $20, and then we realized we had a chance of beating Decastro's efforts. And I asked on our live chat if someone would come through with $5 just to stick it to Decastro. A beautiful, wonderful anonymous donor came through with that money, and we took the win. We put the URL in the chat room and asked people to participate. Chili did not. We got the win. It's that simple. On that note, if you'd like to join our hate watcher making me report on our own awkward victories over Jose Chili Decastro and enforcing us to continue to write this column each morning, we do have a GoFundMe of our own. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. Turtleboy versus Kate Peter, it's getting weird again. The never-ending battle between Kate Peter and Aiden Turtleboy Kearney went to the weird again this week as Kearney is pre-announcing his appearance to prevent Peter from joining him in his turtle fun at the next hearing for accused murderess Karen Reed, and is now trying to set up a witness intimidation case against the brother of murder victim John O'Keefe. In the week or so since we last visited our subjects, Kearney responded to a Facebook post by Peter on his Twitter account that he would be holding a rally before Karen Reed's next court appearance on August 9, 2024. Because he has a protective order against Peter that requires her to stand at least 30 feet away from him at all times, including when he goes out of his way to approach her, she is now, in his view, disqualified from participating in the planned rally for the family of victim John O'Keefe at the same place at the same time. Peter could counter by getting Lindsay Gaetini to come to the event, who has a protective order that would prevent Kearney from being 100 feet from her, though Kearney could then get his ex-mistress girlfriend, who cares, Lauren Murray, to come over and play, as she has a protective order against Peter to keep Peter 100 feet from her. Is anyone following this? Okay. Then Grant Smith Ellis is disqualified from being there because Kearney will bring new BFF Jess Mikado over to play, who has a 100-foot protective order against the reporter, and everything will negate out as no one can move without new charges. Which brings up Paul O'Keefe, brother to John, son of John Sr. and Peggy O'Keefe. Kearney has noticed that Paul O'Keefe is now taking a more active role in organizing counter-protests at Karen Reed's trial. The often one-sided protests in favor of Reed's people, previously led by Kearney but now led by the Roccos. Because Paul has been hanging out with Kate Peter, and Kearney lives in such fear of Peter that he walks up to her at protests to make sure the police must move her as he's in mortal danger, he has started to angle for a protective order against the brother of the victim in the case. That's right, he's apparently setting up a case to get a restraining order against John O'Keefe's own brother to prevent him from appearing at a murder trial. Kearney set it up with the following tweet. Paul O'Keefe is good friends with Kate Peter, who I'm a witness against. His recent message telling me he's gonna take me down has caused me emotional harm. I believe he's doing this because I'm a witness against his friend Kate Peter and does not want me to testify against her. Hope Sue NBC Boston doesn't receive a message like this too. He's tried to get a protective order for less and worse. He's been granted them. So now we open another bag of popcorn, dump it in our Deadpool and Wolverine commemorative popcorn holder, and we wait. It's about to get funky in Massachusetts again, folks. Tune back in for the drama, as these are the days of our size. This day in history, Decastro admits Massachusetts loss. On this day in history, Jose Chili Decastro finally addressed his massive loss as his federal copyright lawsuit against Kate Peter, Josh Abrams, multiple sets of John Doe creators, and YouTube workers, and YouTube Google itself, was dismissed weeks earlier. Calling it a victory, Decastro explained that he was going crazy defending lawsuits in multiple states and jurisdictions, and that it was better that the case was dismissed in Massachusetts, as he wanted the case dismissed for 6 months, and now he could pursue charges against everyone in California, his then home state, if he really wanted to. He was also elated that counterclaims by Josh Abrams and Kate Peter, stemming from when it was a federal civil rights lawsuit, were also dismissed. In the last year, Decastro has failed to follow up on charges against YouTube Google, his continued primary source of income, but has continued with his refiled original defamation and harassment lawsuit against Kate Peter and others in California's Superior Court. While he's threatened to sue Josh Abrams on many occasions over the past year, he seems to be afraid of the YouTuber and has been unwilling to take him on in court. Also on this day, Decastro threatened the Cleveland County, Oklahoma Police Records Department with a lawsuit if he was not granted access to body cam footage of Jason Dollahide's recent arrest. Even though the employees he talked to explained that there was a standard 1 to 2 week delay in releasing footage if a body cam footage request was both processed and granted, Decastro persisted in threatening the worker with a lawsuit should he not get the footage. Decastro went so far as to threaten to hold massive peaceful protests, petitions, and lawsuits in Oklahoma if he was denied the body cam footage. In the end, Decastro was denied the body cam footage for unspecified reasons. No lawsuits were filed, no protests were held, no one was petitioned. Jason Dollahide remains in jail, convicted of the crimes he committed last year. Following up on the zany world of Christopher Direct D. Ruff, the YouTuber's efforts to brigade the Mesa, Arizona Police Records Office apparently worked, as the phone number he had given to his hundreds of thousands of fans was now disconnected. Ruff was angry because the records department was requiring him to come get his records request in person and possibly be picked up on an outstanding warrant. He continued to direct his fans to brigade a new phone line he provided in order to complain about their policies. Claiming that his actions earned him 20,000 new subscribers in the past month, Ruff then bemoaned the loss of his ability to own a firearm and body armor as a convicted felon. He explained that he had workarounds and carried a BB gun, and the BB gun did what he needed to in order to protect him. A year later, Ruff still has a warrant for his arrest, but eventually got his records request fulfilled after a week of brigading by his fans. So it was a short day in the world of those wonderful people that we follow on a near-daily basis. Kate, Peter, and Turtleboy are fighting again with the whole world in their path. Decastro is failing on an epic scale. Almost exactly like it was a year ago on this day. We've got press with Rancor due in court this week, along with Chili's new lawyer making an appearance for him in the Blue Bacon lawsuit. While the video more than likely won't be available, we'll bring you details as quickly as we can get them to you later this week. Exciting! Idiots in court! Woohoo! And on that note, have a safe and happy evening. We're out of here.